November 30th, 2022. It was just another Wednesday at Google. No alarms, no emergency meetings, no warning signs. Nobody inside this building knew that 600 miles away, in a small office in San Francisco, a team of researchers was about to press publish on something that would shake the foundations of the internet. They called it a research preview. They had no idea it would become the fastest-growing product in the history of technology. By the time Google understood what had just happened, the AI war had already begun. To understand how big this moment was, you have to understand what Google actually was. For over 2 decades, Google wasn't just a company. It was the front door to the entire internet. Every question humanity had, Google answered it. Billions of searches a day, an advertising empire worth hundreds of billions of dollars, built entirely on being the place people trusted first. They owned the operating system in your pocket, the browser on your screen, the email in your inbox, the videos on your screen at night. And quietly, behind the scenes, Google owned something even more powerful: the deepest artificial intelligence research lab on Earth, DeepMind. The team that built an AI that defeated the world's greatest Go champion, a feat experts said was a decade away. And in 2017, Google researchers published a paper that would quietly rewrite the future. It introduced something called the transformer, a new way for machines to understand language. Almost every major AI breakthrough that came after, including the one about to blindside them, would be built on Google's own invention. They held the blueprint for the future. And somehow, they weren't the ones who would use it first. In 2015, a small group of researchers and entrepreneurs made a quiet decision that almost nobody noticed. They founded a lab with an unusual mission: build artificial intelligence and make sure it benefited everyone, not just one company. They called it OpenAI. Elon Musk helped launch it. Sam Altman would come to lead it. For years, it operated almost like an underground research group, brilliant, but largely unknown outside the world of AI scientists. Then, in 2019, everything changed. Microsoft placed a massive bet on this small lab, a $1 billion investment most of the world barely registered. Behind closed doors, OpenAI kept building, model after model, each one able to write, reason, and converse more convincingly than the last. But chatbots weren't new. Companies, including Google, had built them for years. Clunky, robotic, forgettable. This one would be different, and the world was about to find out why. It launched without a press conference. No stadium event, no global campaign. Just a website, a text box, and a message: ask me anything. Within 5 days, 1 million people had used it. To put that in perspective, it took Instagram 2.5 months to reach that many users. Netflix took years. Social media exploded. Students used it to write essays. Programmers used it to write code in seconds. Marketers, teachers, doctors, lawyers, all suddenly experimenting with a tool that felt less like software and more like talking to another mind. Universities panicked over cheating. Employers panicked over jobs. And ordinary people just kept asking it more and more questions. For the first time in over 20 years, people weren't just Googling things. They were asking someone else instead. 200 miles north, inside Google's offices, someone was about to open their laptop and see the numbers for themselves. According to multiple reports at the time, Google's leadership declared an internal code red. It was a phrase reserved for moments of genuine crisis, and this was one of them. Reports at the time indicated that Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the founders who had largely stepped back from daily operations for years, were pulled back in, reviewing AI strategy, testing early products, asking hard questions. Because the fear wasn't just about a chatbot, It was about the business Google was built on. For 2 decades, people searched Google, then clicked through ads to find answers. But what if people could just ask an AI directly and never click a search result again? That question alone was enough to shake a trillion-dollar company. Engineers were reportedly reassigned, timelines compressed, product reviews accelerated. The giant that once moved at its own pace was now racing against a clock it didn't control. And then, before Google could even respond, its biggest rival made a move that made things far worse. In January 2023, Microsoft made its intentions clear. It expanded its partnership with OpenAI in a deal reported to be worth billions of dollars, one of the largest bets on artificial intelligence the world had ever seen. Then came the real shock. Microsoft rebuilt Bing, its long-struggling search engine, with OpenAI's technology built directly inside it. For years, Bing had been a punchline, a search engine nobody used. Suddenly, it was the center of the entire tech industry's attention. Microsoft's message was unmistakable. The AI race wasn't coming. It had already started, and Microsoft had just taken the lead. Google now faced an impossible choice: move fast and risk mistakes, or move carefully and risk irrelevance. They chose to move fast. It would turn out to be one of the costliest decisions in the company's history. On February 6, 2023, Google unveiled its answer, an AI chatbot called Bard. In the announcement, Bard was asked about new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope. It gave an answer that included a factual error, a claim about the telescope that outside astronomers quickly pointed out was incorrect. It was a small mistake, a single sentence, but the timing was brutal. The very next day, Google's parent company Alphabet's stock dropped sharply. Reports at the time estimated the company lost roughly $100 billion in market value in a single day. Headlines called it a stumble. Critics called it proof that Google was rushing, that the company built on being right had gotten something wrong in front of the entire world. One demo, one mistake, and decades of trust suddenly felt fragile. But giants don't fall from one stumble. They fall when they stop fighting back, and Google was about to fight back harder than anyone expected. Behind the scenes, Google made a dramatic structural change, merging its 2 AI research powerhouses, DeepMind and Google Brain, into a single unified team. They leaned on something few companies in the world had: their own custom AI chips, called TPUs, built for years, quietly, in preparation for a moment exactly like this. In December 2023, Google unveiled Gemini, its most ambitious AI model yet. Multimodal from the ground up, able to understand text, images, audio, and code, not as separate tricks, but as one connected system. Alphabet began pouring enormous sums into AI infrastructure: new data centers, more chips, more researchers, a scale of investment rarely seen in corporate history. This wasn't a company giving up. This was the king of the internet, refusing to lose its throne without a fight. Today, the war is no longer just about chatbots. It's about AI agents that can complete tasks on their own, search engines being rebuilt from the ground up, entire industries quietly being rewritten in real time. OpenAI keeps pushing GPT forward. Google keeps evolving Gemini, weaving it directly into search itself. Anthropic's Claude has emerged as a serious contender, focused on safety and reasoning. Meta, Amazon, and a wave of new startups are all racing too. Nobody knows who leads the next chapter of this story. The only certainty is that it's still being written,